General Manager Joe Douglas. Joe, whenever you're ready.
Hey guys, thanks for being here. Obviously, a lot goes into this weekend, these last few days, and we're not done yet. We're gonna get through the final pick and then start on drafted free agency, which is a key part of finishing up this draft the right way. But before I go into that, I just want to thank a lot of people. I want to thank our coaching staff, Coach Saleh and his staff. It's just like I've said before, it's been unbelievable getting on the same page with him and his staff. The time and effort that they put into this draft is amazing. I really want to thank the scouts, our college scouts, our pro scouts, analytics, support staff, trainers, doctors, everybody. Obviously, so much work that they put in for 3 days, and when you look at a card, you see a name. I see hours worth of work. I see a drive from Tuscaloosa to Oxford, Mississippi. I see countless conversations. And so these guys have, through everything, they've been able to adjust and adapt through different grading scales. When I came in, different scheme, these guys have adjusted, and they've adapted very well. So I really want to thank them for their hard work over these last few days and the months and weeks leading up to this weekend. With that being said, we feel good about these last 3 days. Feel like we've improved this team. Feel good about this offseason. With the 11 UFAs that we brought in and the 10 draft picks that we brought in over the last 3 days, we feel like we've improved this team. So with that being said, I'll open it up to questions from here.
How do you feel about Michael Carter's ability to translate into your run scheme that you're going to feature with the wide zone run scheme?
Yeah, Michael's got tremendous vision. He's got tremendous speed, burst. He's got the ability to make people miss. He's good on third down, coming out of the backfield in the pass game, and he's pretty stout in protection. So for him to be where he was at 107 was a major surprise to all of us, including Joe and his staff. I mean, it's felt like it was a no-brainer at that point. When we went to bed last night already knowing that was going to be the guy. I mean, he's an incredible talent, so we're excited to have him.
Heavy in the beginning. Were you happy with what you were able to add on the defensive side of the ball late in the draft?
The board, it fell our way, and it fell the defense's way in the second half of this draft. But just to piggyback on what Coach was talking about Michael Carter, just a guy that we were really excited about, just his elusiveness, his explosive playmaking ability, and then to follow it up and bring in some young defensive players that can come in and compete and hopefully be impact players for us moving forward.
Robert, could you talk about the importance of you drafted the 4 offensive players to start out with? That's actually almost the first time in almost 40 years that the Jets drafted 4 offensive players to start a draft. How important was that to get guys around your new quarterback so they could grow together?
It goes back to the team aspect that we've talked about. In the first day, the board fell that way. We take the quarterback, Vera Tucker's sitting there, and Joe was aggressive in going and getting him, which was awesome, and had no idea, no expectation to see Elijah Moore sitting there, and there he is sitting there in the second round. So that was a no-brainer, and we go through and just watch the third round unfold, and we're just looking at Michael Carter falling, and we're like, holy cow, he might get to us. And so we go to bed last night excited as heck because Michael Carter's sitting there. So it kind of fell that way, but the objective of this entire weekend has been to get better as a team, find a way to fill this roster up, because teams win championships, not individual players, and I feel like we've done a really good job taking not only advantage of value, but positions of need.
Some of the defensive players you've added and how they fit into your system.
We're really excited about the opportunity that these young men have to come in and compete and see if they can make an impact on this team. At the linebacker level with Sherwood and Hamza, those are 2 very long, fast, versatile athletes that kind of fit the mold of what we ask out of our linebackers, the running, hitting, and speed, and coverage ability. Then you look at the corners and just Whether it's Michael Carter the second, being able to play that free safety nickel role, or Echoes playing corner, and forgive me, there was one more, and there was another corner in there. Forgive me, long day, but either way, all three of them in the back end, just fantastic additions to be able to come in and compete, and that's all we're asking of them, because out of it all, you know, when you have so much competition and the things that Joe and his staff have been able to bring in, competition breeds improvement, and so there's going to be a great level of competition in that room, and we're excited to see.
Robert,
Robert,
with Sherwood and Hamza, those are guys that played safeties mainly in college. Now you guys, you just call them linebackers. You guys call them linebackers on social media. Is that sort of the new NFL? Just kind of finding those guys to play in the box that may have been safeties in college?
I don't know if it's a new NFL. We just look at it differently. We're in our scheme. Our guys, with the chaos that we create up front, our guys are more run and hit. They're more lateral players. These young men, when you look at Sherwood and you look at Hamza, they're down safeties, which is basically a linebacker. And you just look at guys like Fred Warner, who played nickel basically in college, and he transfers over and he's turned out all right. There's examples all over the league where guys didn't play behind the ball, or it's just very hard to evaluate linebackers nowadays with regards to how the college game has evolved to RPOs and keeping guys lateral and all the trick stuff, quarterback run game. It's not traditional, but what you can see out of those guys is their ability to read, diagnose, run, hit, play coverage, understand route concepts that are in front of them, and so we feel like they'd be able to translate to linebacker pretty easily.
Did you say Michael Carter, the second from Duke, is free safety? Is that what you said?
Free safety. He's one of those guys that's got great versatility, tremendous speed. He's very sticky in coverage, and he's tremendous mentally with regards to being able to absorb information and play multiple spots. So getting him and his versatility is great, especially when you start getting in the game day where you're trying to figure out who's going to be active.
Right now, how are you feeling overall about the cornerback room? When you add in Jason, you add in Michael Carter the second. You still have Bryce Hall, got Lamar Jackson, and you have Bless Austin. How are you feeling overall about the cornerback room?
I just love the competition that we brought in. Jason, obviously, Pittsburgh. That's one I was forgetting to get out of my mouth. He's had, from an analytics standpoint, if you just look at his career analytically, and his production is off the charts, and so they all bring a different style to them, and they're going to get every single opportunity to compete and make an impact on this football team. So anytime you bring in competition, I'm going to feel good about it. We're going to feel good about it, and that's the biggest thing.
This is for both Joe and Robert. Either one of you can take this. There was some talk with no combine this year, with that sort of medical combine. How satisfied, you guys have talked about the great job that Dr. Montgomery and the training people do. How satisfied are you with the medicals on like the guys in the later rounds, because there wasn't as much of a chance this year to check up on those guys? How satisfied are you with any medical questions on the later round guys?
Yeah, JP, those guys had to adjust just like our scouts did. There was a smaller number of guys that went to the combine, 150, I believe the number was, instead of the normal 300. So they had to adjust, and we tried to get as much information from these satellite physicals as we can. A lot of images that the doctors poured through, and they really grinded to get the best information that they could. And some of this information was changing leading up into the weekend. So this was probably unlike any other draft in that regard, in terms of medical information coming in later and changing, because usually they haze in the barn on that a couple weeks before the draft starts. So they did a great job working through this.
Along those lines, Joe, with Hamza, some scouting people services projected him as like a third rounder. Do you think it was his knee that caused him to drop because he had the knee surgery?
Yeah, I can't really speak for everybody else. I know we're excited to get him, and I know that we had good talks about him with our docs, and we're excited to add him to the team. He's a guy that, like Coach said, he loves ball, man, and it comes out. I mean, even coming back off the injury, and he didn't have to come back and play the last few games this year. He could have just waited and gone in the draft like so many others did. But that guy loves ball. He loves being around his teammates. He loves competing, and that's what we want to be about. We want guys like that on our team.
So, throughout your career, you've been in various spots that have drafted a quarterback in the first round. Whether it's Baltimore, whether it's Philly, Chicago, you've been in a situation where they drafted a first round quarterback. So, how much did that experience play into the way you went about, building around Zach Wilson in this draft?
Yeah, DJ. I think every situation's unique, and I think having been around that process, it certainly benefited. I think having been around programs that have had success bringing in rookie players and having success with rookie quarterbacks. But look, I think like I said, every situation is different. At the end of the day, our coaching staff, our scouts, all of us, we loved everything we saw from Zach, and we were excited to bring him into the team.
How important is it to get a veteran in that quarterback room just to be kind of a stabilizing influence for all those young quarterbacks in there?
Yeah, I think, like I said, I really am excited about the guys that we have. I think that's a conversation that Coach and I will get together on, not only quarterback room, but a lot of rooms once the dust settles on this draft early next week. We'll get in. We'll talk about every room, and if there's a situation where we feel we need to address a room, we're gonna do it. But we're gonna let this undrafted free agent process play out and then get back together, huddle up next week.
How much better are you guys today compared to before this draft kickoff on Thursday? How much better are you guys today?
Well, I think I said in the opening statement, I think we've had a chance to add 10 players via the draft, 11 players in unrestricted free agency, and we're excited about these guys. We're excited about the competition that we're going to create. We're excited about the depth that we added. So I do feel like we improved ourselves throughout this off season, and the off season is not over until training camp starts. So if there's more opportunities that present itself to improve this team, improve this roster, we're gonna take it.
I don't think we've asked you about Marcus May since early March. I was just curious, has there been any progress toward a long-term contract there, and is that a priority for you now that the draft is over?
Yeah, still a priority to keep Marcus here long term, and we have had productive text back and forth with his agent. So we're hoping to really dive into this now that the draft's over.
Joe?
Robert, is there any concern that you have too many Michael Carters now?
We got MC and MC2. No, it's also they're both really talented football players, so we're excited to have them both.
Was that like when the Michael Carter II, you guys were going to take him? Was there any joking around in the room, like, oh, we're taking another guy, another Michael Carter? What was it like in there?
I think the humor in it all. There was when we took Michael Carter, the running back, ESPN threw up Michael Carter II on the screen. We're like, whoa, wait a minute. So check the notes, make sure we got the right pick. But lucky for us, Michael II ended up falling to us, and we were able to scoop him up. So like I said, we're excited.
That was the hope to get the MC squared. To get the MC squared. Going into today, we're able to accomplish. We're trying to corner the market on Elijah's and Michael Carter's.
Robert, you were a linebackers coach. What is the transition like for guys like Hamza and Sherwood to have to go from, I know similar things, but from box safety to linebacker? How difficult a transition is that?
There's a learning curve. You tell them to do whatever they can. If they, you know, if they felt comfortable walking into the box, then shoot, break the huddle with a little bit of depth and walk into that spot. It's all the same thing, because some guys just need to adjust their eyes and their vision. That trick was given to me by John Lynch at San Francisco when he was asked to play linebacker at the tail end of his career. He broke the huddle and walked into his spot, and it just felt better for him. And if you have to do that for a while, do it. But eventually they get used to it. Because when you're a box safety, it's the reads are pretty much the same. You just got to get used to understanding you're a linebacker now, and it's the way they'll learn with the way we play at linebacker. It is not a like a 3-4 Mike linebacker that goes and pumps the guard to get him off the tackle. That's not the way we play, and we play with a little bit more speed, fast flow, and we try to put them in space and allow them to close that space as fast as possible. So those guys usually fit pretty good in our scheme.
Anything else for Coach or Joe?
Hey, Connor, I didn't see you come on till late, man. Were you just the camera not on, or I was getting ready to call you prime time, man. I didn't think you were going to show up today.
Not this one. We're gonna have to talk with Jared about it.
Bad connection there.
Everybody good? Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Joe.
Thanks.
All right.